This year, throughout the entire year, the North Node is moving through the sign of Aries, which is a very entrepreneurial sign and is a sign around being independent, being courageous, and sometimes being a little bit aggressive in pursuit of the things that you want and desire to create. All right, up next we have Sagittarius rising and sun. This Capricorn new moon is happening in your second house on January 11th. And this is a time when I've been telling everybody we're trying to make a plan. And it's a little bit in contrast with the North Node energy, which is let's dive in head first, let's take action, let's do what we want to do. This a little bit impulsive energy. Well, this Capricorn new moon wants us to slow it down and solidify it. And being in the second house of finances, this could very much relate to finances, of course, things that you own, things that you are responsible for taking care of, the way that you manage your money, the way that you also have confidence in yourself and feel like you are bringing value to the table, what you value in other people, in your relationships. And so it's time to slow down this area and look at it a little bit more carefully. Am I living according to my values and priorities? Do I need to make adjustments? Do my finances reflect how I feel about my life and my priorities? Do I need to make some adjustments? Do I need to, and what's interesting here, sorry, I'm a Gemini, so a little all over the place sometimes, but this new moon in the second is all about building that security and doing what feels sometimes a little bit more conservative or safe. But what's interesting is that this is squaring the North Node in with Chiron and Aries in your fifth house of fun and children. So there's something here where it's like the little bit more spontaneous version of yourself, or the side of you that wants to pursue having a kid or starting a passion project, or going out and having fun with friends, like whatever that fifth house activity is that feels like your heart is pulling you there. It is in contrast with your desire for financial security, for your desire for staying kind of safe and within your comfort zone of making sure that everything is already taken care of because you already know how to manage it. So we have to bring these together. We need to make a plan. So if you want to have a kid, can we make a plan financially to feel like we're going to set ourselves up for success, or we're going to buy a bigger house that would fit the family that we're wanting to have? Or if we're wanting to start a passion project or go out with friends, can we have this balance between pursuing those things while also managing our money in a way that feels really intentional and aligned with our values and priorities and doesn't skew too much into the area of just jumping right into whatever we want and doing it right now? It wants us to slow down and think about this a little bit more cautiously. One of the things that I think is really interesting is I pulled this patterns card. So there could be something about this new moon that helps you spot patterns that are going on in your life that could relate to your home, your family, your money. And I say that because the ruler of this moon is Saturn, and it's in your fourth house of home and family and emotions and your roots in general. So part of what further describes this new moon is going to be Saturn in this sector. So we really want you to look at maybe some of the patterns that have existed within your family, within your emotions, within your past, within your financial life, with your parents, with where you live. There's some kind of pattern that could be repeating itself, that something reminiscent of the past, something that you're like, I've been here before. And there might be something that you can do to make adjustments so that you can improve your finances as well as improve your work or your routines or your health to ensure that this pattern doesn't just continue again. So it seems like there's something almost habitual or repetitive about this new moon that is being addressed, where it's like, okay, I want to make sure I feel really secure. I want to feel secure financially. I want to feel secure emotionally. I want to feel confident. I want to feel like I'm stable and I've got all my needs met. But I also want to make sure that my health is strong and that my workout routine is good and that I have a meditation practice and that my job is orderly. All of these things are going to be affected by the pattern that is showing up right now. So looking at that pattern, having clarity about that can bring you the best kind of results. So it can stop any process of unconscious repeating of behaviors or things that lead to negative outcomes for you that you don't want to experience again. I also pulled this emerald card for you. I did look it up, but I already forgot. So, oh yes, okay. So there could also be patterns that happen in relationships, especially with family because of where Saturn is, or with people that you live with. So this emerald card is talking about being very truthful and honest and vulnerable and open about things. So if there's anything that's on your heart that you need to soften to and be open about, I think that's going to be really important, especially if you feel triggered at all right now with this card about projection. If you're finding people in your life are triggering you, or kind of like, yeah, just getting in your head a little bit, or you feel like there's a pattern here where it's like reverting back to something that you experienced as a kid, or you have with your parents, or your parents have with each other. It's like recognizing that pattern and stopping it and trying to create more stability in your life by making different choices. I definitely feel like you have lots of different choices or things on your mind that you need to like prioritize or get clear about. And that could mean also that could involve other people as well. So I feel like a lot of this time is trying to create more simplicity and more stability in your life. That's the overall goal. And things could come up that show you where there are cracks in that foundation, which could be repeating patterns in your relationship or issues within your money that you keep doing, needing to be honest about how you feel about something. All these things are just examples of things that can come up for you to realize this isn't stable enough for me to build upon. I need to have something stronger. And I feel like I'm getting so many examples because I think that for all of you, it's going to be so varied. For some of you, it might be more around your relationship with yourself and your body and the kind of foods that you're attracted to, or how you are feeling confident in yourself. Other people, it's going to be very focused around family, around starting your own family, around your relationship with your family, or where you live, all these kinds of things. So slow down around this time and ask yourself, are there any repeating patterns? Am I getting triggered? Am I reverting back to old versions of myself? Do I need to be honest and truthful with myself or others about something? Can I be vulnerable? How can I bring about greater clarity in the situation and greater truthfulness in the situation? These are going to be all really important questions to ask yourself around this new moon. This new moon is also trining Uranus in the 6th house. So there is definitely an emphasis on kind of shaking up the way that you show up to your work or your daily life. And also Jupiter is there as well, trining Mars in the 2nd house. So it definitely is indicating that if you're willing to shake up the way that you go about your job, or the way that you go about your health regimen or your routines, if you're willing to do that, it's going to create that stability for you. And you might even be able to make more money as a result of thinking about things differently, and making different kind of daily behavioral choices. You could actually manifest more money and more stability. That's really the key, is the stability factor, the security factor. You have Venus in your house right now, which again makes you very attractive. It does highlight relationships. It does highlight your own self-worth and beauty image. Those all come to the table, relationships with women especially. This is trining Chiron in the 5th house, which does bring up even more around, children and your creative expression, your own sexuality. So let me pull a card on that, but it's trying to bring out healing in these areas of your life. So it could look like healing your, healing your relationship with your ability to attract things based off of how skilled or gifted you are, or your innate talents, or at the very least what you were kind of destined to enjoy and have in this lifetime. So realizing that you can manifest and attract more things into your life because you are magnetic, and because you are deserving, and because you are have things to be proud of. With this Magician card, this is a card of manifestation. As I mentioned, Venus in your 1st house makes you extremely magnetic. Venus is one of the strongest planets for manifestation, along with Jupiter. So trining Chiron on the 5th is like, I deserve to be here. I deserve to take up space. I deserve to attract this into my life. And you'll start to see that more and more abundance comes to you as a result of having that mindset. So we're going to finish off this reading by asking, who is your goddess guiding you throughout the year of 2024? So who is the goddess that is guiding you throughout the year of 2024, Sagittarius? So you have Sacred Unity. So wow, this feels like a very spiritual and maybe even religious year for you. I feel like you guys are going to have really profound realizations and moments this year that have you kind of, I feel like it's going to have you guys see things through the eyes of like an angel. I feel like sometimes you have these really big moments, like the birth of a child, the death of a loved one, moving house, like buying your first house, getting married, just these really, really major moments where you're like experiencing what a milestone in life can draw you to. It's like these philosophical and spiritual experiences that, and thoughts and energy and emotions that come from such a big chapter unfolding. And that's really what I'm getting from this card. I feel like it's going to be different for all of you guys, but it feels like you guys are going to be very divinely guided this year, and you're going to have these really intense moments where you're coming face to face with spirit as a result of a major life event happening. And I feel like it's going to change who you are as a person. And definitely around that period of time, I think you're going to be feeling extremely spiritual, because it's going to connect you to the purpose of life, the higher meaning of life, which is a very Sagittarius thing already. So I feel like you're coming into a strong energy that aligns with your natural energy as a Sagittarius this year in particular. And you might get a lot of downloads this year and feel just very much like you're protected. And that even if there are some things that go wrong, that you are safe and protected, and that it all happens for a purpose. And the things that go right, of course, those are easy to celebrate, but you'll start to see how those also happen for a purpose and the higher meaning in all of this. So that's really, really profound. It feels like very deep. Maybe the most deep out of all the piles so far. So that's really cool. That is what I have for you, Sagittarius. Before you sign off, I wanted to let you know I have 2 readings, a 2024 forecast one-on-one with me, where we sit down month by month, look at all your important transits, what's going on for you, advice for your year ahead, planning for really significant events like having a kid or buying a house, or any questions you have. We'll cover that together. So if you're interested, you can book that down below. And then I also have a Notion template where I list out all the transits and their energy next to it. So if you're planning a trip, launching something for your business, if you need to have an important conversation, look at those, because you don't want to plan it on a really bad day. Trust me. So that's obviously a cheaper DIY version. So if you want that, that'll be linked down below. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and have a beautiful day. Bye.